You want me back here? I'll be back here.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Nice to see you all, and thank you for coming this bright Monday morning. Welcome to our town hall for all mutuals. This isn't just for a single mutual, it's for all of us. We have a lot of information to cover for you this morning, and so we just wanted to give you an overview of what our plan is, and we hope that you learn a lot with this morning's session. Our objective today is to help you understand how you can share in village policies. I know it's a mystery to a lot of us, no matter how long we've lived here. So we're committed to help you understand more about how the village works. And after that, particularly as we go through that, how you can be on a board to help affect that. And by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Dorothy Pacello. Hello. This meeting is sponsored by the Board Leadership Network. It's a volunteer group of primarily former board members. Our mission, as we gathered, was to encourage more active participation by our residents in the governance in our community. If we had a motto, it would be, one voice can raise a concern, and many voices can shape a future. We are a brand new group, and as I indicated, it's a group of former directors of all the different boards over time who are passionate about sharing the education to our residents, to our neighbors, so they can begin to understand how the village works. In addition, the PC Club, who is a member of our network, through the PC Club and the Board Leadership Network, we offer some stimulating and insightful lectures in the PC Club, the third floor in the community center. These sessions cover such topics as how our village came to be, the ins and outs of governance, and we even have some surprises for you along the way. To find a full list of those classes, please go to the PC Club's website or grab a copy of the flyers here in the clubhouses. We've worked really hard to really expand and continue the knowledge of expanding how the village works. We have two parts of our presentation this morning. The first one we're going to do is how decisions govern our community are made. How does it all happen? How does it come together? And then the second part will be how you can help influence those decisions. Two important parts: big picture, how it happens, and then how you might be interested in helping with the village. Now we're going to talk about how decisions governing our communities are made. You can strengthen Laguna Woods by becoming involved. And so we encourage people to learn how they can participate, but most importantly, how your voice matters. One of the greatest decisions we've all made was choosing Laguna Woods Village as our forever home. Now I know that sounds rather mundane, but I'm very passionate about the decision we made, because I'm assuming most of us, this will be our forever home. And particularly what's important from a historical point of view is how we came to be. Last year, we celebrated our 60th anniversary. And we were founded by Ross Cortese, and we opened in 1964. Ross was a visionary, and he developed and built our wonderful community. In preparation for that, he partnered with USC's School of Gerontology, because he wanted to build the perfect community for those of us that wanted to retire and be active. He tried it first up in Grove, in a place called Seal Beach, which was big, low, and that was called Leisure World. but he had learned that it wasn't exactly what he wanted. And so when he partnered with the School of Gerontology, they gave him his roadmap. They told him what to include in a community that would make it prosperous and wonderful for the owners that would buy here. When he did that, it was more than just, here are the floor plans, here's the hammer and nails. It was a concept of community and what we would all need when we would move in here so we were active and prospering. So when he did that, his plans were not only behind the gates, where he built clubhouses, he built golf courses, he envisioned and started clubs, he put in gates, he put in security, he did everything. But what he wanted to do was not only inside the gates, but he looked outside the gates. And so he thought about a fire department at our front door. He thought about a hospital outside the other door. And he thought about churches all the way around the perimeter of our building. And so what ended up happening, when people moved in here, they thrived. They became healthy. They had social relationships they never thought they had. And they loved living here. And keep in mind, when people live here, it's from age 55 to 105 or more. So with that, he started selling the homes and having residents move in. Now what you may not know, but you might have heard in the past, is that about 15 years ago, there are 2 health agencies that came to visit us because they realized, they heard, what is going on in Orange County? Everybody's having a good time, and they realized that we were doing well. So both the National Health Institute of Health, as well as UCI, came and visited our residents twice. And in both cases, they determined that if you live in Laguna Woods Village, you will live 10 years longer than the national average, if with purchase of your home, 10 extra years to enjoy it. So that's relevant, because you're going to be active, you're going to be taking advantage of everything that we have in the village. And we can thank Ross for that, because that's how important we are, and that's how important he was to us as a visionary. He also invented what is called homeowners assessment dues. He realized that when he built all these wonderful things, we had to pay for them. And so we all pay for a little bit of everything every month with our assessments to keep the beauty of the village going. I mean, you may not realize, but we have 35,000 trees in the village, and far more bushes and lots of landscaping. And those need tender love and care. And so we have to somehow support that, and it came through the concept of homeowners assessments. But believe it or not, Ross invented that concept. It did not exist before 1964. So here we are now today. And so now we have to continue the significant challenges that we face, including rising costs, budget constraints, unfilled staffing positions, plus a California legislator that could be very, very expensive. These issues can impact our ability to maintain all of our amenities and our services. And so many of those we have no control over, but they are our reality. So we need your help to shape the path forward and ensure continued prosperity of our village. We want it to be this beautiful. We don't want it to deteriorate. We want it to be safe. We want it to be here. So now what I want to do is help you understand the roles of the boards. Because the other thing Ross did when he established us, was he created bylaws and governing bodies to keep us going. It just didn't happen by itself. So in reality, he created a governance structure of all of our different boards to make decisions on how we want to run this village. So what I want to do this morning is help you understand the roles of the boards and their associated committees. I really like this chart because it really helps you understand what the difference is in some of these areas. So as you all may know, I hope you all know what mutual you live in. Be a third, be it United. And both of those communities have a dedicated mutual board of directors. And they manage the activities that are happening that affect that particular mutual. And both United and Third function the same way. And they both have 11 directors. Now the next board you often hear about is GRF, the Golden Ring Foundation. GRF oversees everything with the amenities and the services that affect the entire village. So they take care of our clubhouses, they take care of security, they take care of landscape. They are absolutely the bigger picture of what's going on in the village. They too have 11 directors. And lastly, there's a board called Village Management Services, VMS. And they have a board of 9 directors. And they ensure that VMS is acting efficiently and performing the tasks that they've been assigned. So that the interaction between VMS and GRF is very important. GRF has the budget. They then help direct VMS on what to do and how to execute that budget to take care of our property. And so they have 9 directors. And all the directors across the board serve 3-year terms. The other thing that has always been a mystery to me, but now I finally get it, is that within that, the boards have committees. And sometimes you might hear about it, you might read about it, that there's a committee. But the committees are the really backbone of what happens here at the village. These are the fine folks that drill down into the mechanics and the detail of running the village. So for example, for both United and Third, they have separate committees that relate to finance, landscape, maintenance and construction, architectural, governing docks, member hearings, resident advisory, and member hearings. These are committees that are underneath each of the mutual boards, and they drill down into the issues that are before them to make sure they gather all the facts and make sure it's right. GRF, on the other hand, also has their own committees. So they do finance, they have landscaping, maintenance and construction, community activities, so all the clubs report under GRF, media and communication, that would be Village TV, mobility and vehicles, security, and disaster preparedness. So our friends at GRF are looking at the big picture for us, and they're able to make sure that all the community, all the village has the same advantages. So the next question is, how are new village policies created? This is where the work happens. Committees are the brainstorming hubs of where ideas take shape. When a committee agrees on a proposal, it sends it off to the board for review. After discussion and feedback from the members, the board votes on it as to whether or not to move forward. If approved, then the resolution is placed on a 28-day notice, giving residents time to share their thoughts and suggestions. Then, at the next board meeting, more discussions unfold before a final vote decides on the fate. Green light to go forward or back to the committee for more information. And that is the give and take and the interaction between the mutual board and then its committees. Though the United, Third, and GRF governing boards operate separately and independently, they work with each other. so they all understand the challenges that we all face. So there is constant communication between the boards. So now the question becomes, how might you influence the village with policies without being on a board? Let's start at the base. Let's start where it's basic. Policies just aren't written in the boardrooms. It's shaped by engaged residents. Here's how you can jump in and make an impact. This is my fun slide too. These are the 3 channels of communication and influence that a resident can be involved with, and we're going to go through each one of these this morning. So the first one is for you to attend board and committee meetings. These are held and they're public. You know when they are and where they are. And you can show up at the committee meetings and the board meetings. It's your chance to speak, share ideas, and help with the discussion. If you've ever been there before, every resident can sign up for a 3-minute presentation at the board meeting and a committee meeting. So you have a voice, and you will be heard, and you will be documented by what your issues are. So here's how you can shape the rules. Committee meetings are new ideas, proposed rules, and fresh policies, and they're the first ones to ever see the light of day. Speaking up here gives you the strongest leverage to influence others. Board meetings are also crucial. It's where final decisions are made, and you can input and sway your vote. If you ever have been to board meetings, you'll see they will quote comments that were made in the previous month that have influenced them. And they've heard us because they want to understand everything that we want to be able to have happen. So the first thing obviously is attending the board meetings. They happen every month, always on a Tuesday. So go up and just sit and listen and absorb. Now the second thing that can happen is you can volunteer as an advisor. Now the committees are in action and hard at work, and they often look for advisors. The thing that I love about advisors is that it is again a volunteer. And very often they need people with your expertise to help them make the decisions. So often I'll meet new residents and their background or their business before they moved here if they were a general contractor. That would be a perfect person to help with maintenance and construction because they understand the business. They understand best practices. And if you're an advisor, that's a volunteer. You don't have to run for any election. It is your volunteer. And the way that works is when you go to a committee meeting, you can introduce yourself through the 3 minutes that you're given and give your background. And then when in fact it's time for them, when they needed more advisors for the committee, they will keep you in mind. It's not automatic, but you put your name in the ring because you have expertise or a passionate interest about the subject matter. So this has been probably the greatest learning for me personally, because it's a way to get involved without having to actually be elected. Being a committee advisor is like having a front row seat with a microphone. You are an active participant in the debates over policy decisions. Whether you're attending as a resident or an advisor, the monthly or bi-monthly, so your commitment is minimal. No need to cancel your pickleball games or miss your Taco Tuesday. Unfortunately, this is a familiar scene with committee meetings. The room is empty. Because the word isn't out, and that's part of why we're here today, to help you understand that this goes on all the time in the village. And the committee meetings are very powerful. And we want to fill those seats with interested people at the committee meetings. The committees and boards work very hard to serve the community. They're really working hard. However, direct input from the residents during the decision-making process really makes a difference. And they can improve how they might make those decisions, or even offer important corrections. They're very open to us, and they want to hear from us, but we need to show up. That's why we hope to see you at upcoming board meetings and committee meetings. You can be a positive influence to what we're doing. So again, here's the summary of the activity. The simple thing to do is go to board meetings, show up, listen, maybe comment, and that's the best way to absorb within your mutual as well as GRF what's going on. And then if you really get hungry and want to make a difference, attend and volunteer at the committee meetings, and you'll see a lot more that's going on. This is the drill down. This is where a lot happens that affects all of us, all of our manners, all of the beauty of this particular village. And then last, as you've seen, the operations and how we all work in the village, it might inspire you to run for a board meeting, a village board. And we need diverse opinions, diverse voices, and fresh perspectives to keep our community moving forward. No matter how you decide to get involved, your participation really makes a difference. So let's make it happen. Our community thrives when we show up. So now, how do you attend a board or committee meetings? First, you need to find out when and where the meeting is occurring. Running when, time for various meetings, no need to play detective. It's neatly organized on the meeting calendar on our website. It's not private, it's public, so we encourage you to go and just be an observer, understand what's going on. In addition, meetings are live or they're on demand. Board meetings are live on Village TV, so you can stay informed without leaving your home, and preferably you'll choose to attend in person. Committee meetings are not televised, meaning your presence there matters even more. So if you want to be part of the discussion, show up in person is the way to go. You can also participate remotely on Granicus, let you watch meetings from your computer, your iPad or smartphone, so you don't have to get dressed up. Zoom takes a step further, so you can participate vocally with your voice. If you missed a meeting, both board and committee meetings are recorded, which means you can watch them at any time at your convenience. Not sure how to access and use the meeting calendar? Granicus Zoom, the friendly folks at the PC Club will help you. So the important thing now is what happens if you want to become a board member. Many people wonder, does it take too much time to be on a board? You don't need extensive prior knowledge about board operations or governance. Let's address some of the common concerns and misconceptions and explore what it means to really serve on a board. People will say, well, what do you have to do? What kind of traits do you have to be a board member? First and foremost, decisions should be made with honesty and impartiality. Leave the personal agendas at the door. Sometimes you'll see board members that have joined a board, and the reason they got on the board is because they had a bone to pick. They really wanted to get something fixed here in the village. Our encouragement to you is leave your bones at the door, because we want to be impartial and open-minded so we can hear all the facts and make good decisions. The next characteristics are problem solvers. You don't need a crystal ball, just good judgment and a desire to seek practical solutions. My career is in corporate America, and one lesson I learned very early, especially when it came to problem solving, was to ask why 5 times. And when you finally ask why, and why, and why, when you finally drill down to the 5th time, you then hear the real problem. And that's when you can go to action and solve that problem. But if you listen just all the woo-woo up here at the top, you might miss something. And then you go and implement something and you're like, that wasn't the problem at all. So you have to have a passion and an interest in just digging and getting to the root cause of something. But particularly with problem solving, the other thing that happens is best practice. So we are not secluded here. Within the decisions that the boards make, many different things are happening with best practices. And so that's where we want to be when we're making decisions and spending our money. You also have to be a team player. This isn't a solo act. We're not looking for stars. Respecting different opinions, finding common ground, and working well with others is the key. And you like working on a team. If you don't like working on a team, you just like to work by yourself, you probably wouldn't like being a board member. And an effective communicator. Careful listening and thoughtfully addresses concerns making the difference. Listen and communicate. Repeat back what you think you're hearing so you really do understand what the issues are. And of course, importantly, is a passion for the community. You want it to be like this and stay like this and thrive like this. And you want to do everything you can do to protect it and fund it and keep it as beautiful as it is. If you have that passion, you're already ahead of the game. And then lastly, leadership and experience. Of course, we need those who have a background in business, finance, and service on HOA boards. But life experiences and good old-fashioned common sense are often the key to making it fun and successful. At the end of the day, the most important quality is common sense. You don't need a fancy degree, long resume, just a willingness to learn, think critically, and make thoughtful decisions for the community. Ready to jump in? The village needs people like you. Just the sheer fact that you're here today tells us that the village needs people like you, and I applaud you. Are any of these concerns keeping you from joining the board? Too time-consuming, too many meetings, too much going on. Of course there's time involvement. This is not simple. But board members have plenty of time to do the other things they enjoy. Plus, wouldn't you rather spend your time improving the neighborhood instead of complaining about it? There may be a fear of making unpopular decisions. Not everyone will love every decision. We're not handing out free ice cream. This isn't fun. But remember, the final decisions are supported by a majority of your fellow board members, so you are not alone. The guiding principle is that good leadership means focusing on what's best, not just what's popular. Sometimes we'll hear about conflict in the meetings. In past meetings, it's been like a soap opera. It's time to change the script. Respectful debate is encouraged. And you may be afraid because you think I have a lack of experience. Remember, we've talked about some of the characteristics. Nobody starts knowing how to run an HOE. You just don't. There are bylaws, there are rules. It isn't simple, and we don't expect you to take your chair as a director and know all the rules. We'll teach you. Joining a board isn't as intimidating as you might have thought, and the impact you can have is worth it. Joining a board is very rewarding. You get to make decisions and shape policies that have a positive impact on our community. It's a great way to connect with neighbors and strengthen relationships and foster a positive environment. Again, part of why our residents thrive for 10 years longer than the national average is because they interact socially, and they go to fitness centers, and they're fit, and they love what they're doing. This is just another way to fill that time. So when you live 10 extra years, you know you will have made a difference. The other thing that's fun about a board meeting is you develop new skills and gain valuable experience in budgeting, decision-making, and community leadership. Who knew that a board membership could be a crash course in personal and professional growth? Plus, it keeps your brain challenged, and it's thought that helps you stay sharper and longer. And we've all heard about what happens to our brains as we age. So I can't think of a better experience to keep your brain sharp and together with us. And there's nothing quite like having the difference and knowing that you made a difference. When you walk around the village and you see things that you voted on that became a reality, that's pretty cool. And you know you affected that. I mean, a case in point is when the village decided to remodel Village Clubhouse 1. That was a joint effort. That was a big effort. But it's gorgeous. And that was because of the teamwork and the collaboration of our boards to make that happen. And so visibly you can see that here was a deteriorating clubhouse, like 60 years old, and it needed help, and they did. So it's visible, you can see what you've done. If you're passionate about building a thriving, well-managed community, this is your chance to step up and see your impact. So why not jump in? Your future self and your neighbors will thank you. We like this phrase. You might have heard it before. Apologies to JFK. Ask not what your village can do for you, which is pretty common around here. Ask what you can do for your village. We like this phrase. Our village has made bold, forward-thinking decisions that have led to tremendous success, such as transitioning to a nonprofit management company and extending rental opportunities from 6 months to a full year. Many years ago, there was another management company here called PCM that we removed, and we self-hired village management services. And that's who helps run our village today. While those choices were once considered controversial, today people are benefiting everyone thanks to the vision and leadership of prior dedicated board members. Now, we face new challenges, rising costs, budget adjustments, unfilled staff positions. As in the past, we must have strong leaders and involved residents who have the foresight and determination to guide our community forward. That's why I'm inviting everyone to become more involved by attending meetings, voicing their opinions to help guide the decisions that affect us all. If you want to take it one step further, consider the honor of running for a board, to be a part of the team shaping the future of our community. Currently, there are openings to run for the GRF board, which oversees our amenities and services. If you're interested, applications to run for GRF director are available now at the reception desk on the first floor in the community center. The deadline to submit your application for GRF board is September 23rd, a week from tomorrow. Of course you'll have questions, or perhaps you're wondering if you're truly prepared to run for a board position. The sponsors of this meeting, the Board Leadership Network, is available to help you. Now here's an important part. We've all received ballots to vote for the candidates in United and Third. You have received your ballots in the mail. Don't let them gather dust. They're due by September 25th. And this is your chance to vote for board members. It's the perfect way to make your voice heard.
Do we get to see who, like we did before, more about the candidates?
That opportunity already happened twice. It was televised on Village TV, it was at Meet the King.
Watches that.
Then it was the front page of the Globe on Thursday. In addition, they have statements that were included in your ballot in terms of what their positions are with our mutual boards.
Well, this is why I'm not voting.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
I can't vote for people I don't even know who I vote for.
So, if you want to address that later on with us individually, that would be fine.
Would you repeat the questions?
We will. So what we're gonna do,
Yeah, we're just sitting here listening to you.
I understand, and we're almost done, and then we're gonna open it for questions. And we're gonna have some of our directors come forward and answer those questions for you as well. We encourage more residents to run for the boards. Please remember, we don't hold a board position we don't need to hold a board position to have an impact. Active participation in community and board meetings is really how things happen. Before we start the Q&A, here's how you can stay connected. You can call me. But the other thing I want to explain to you, which is a learning like as we've done this, is voting for your board, your mutual board, has a greater impact than you might imagine. Okay? So here we all are as members. And now we have the opportunity to vote for our mutual board. That is where your voice matters and should be heard. After that happens, now over here is the GRF election. And any people in the village can apply to be a GRF board member. From that slate of interested candidates, the people selected to go to the GRF board, of which there are 5 open directorships. Those people, those 5, will be selected by the mutual boards. We will never vote on that again. So the importance of what you're doing by voting for your mutual board is a double hit. It gives us the power to know what's going on in your mutual, but those are the very people that are going to select the GRF directors, not you and I. It's going to be from those mutual boards. And then later on, when we have a VMS election for those directors, and that will be advertised when people will apply, and based on where you live, your mutual board will select you to represent you on the VMS board. We, members, do not vote for VMS board meetings, directors. We do not vote for GRF directors. So, this was a great learning I've had over time, because it made me realize the importance of your vote for your mutual board. That affects not only your mutual, but their choices will affect GRF, and their choices will affect VMS. The other thing that you can do is contact our new group called Board Leadership Network. And we have the email on the screen, or come to our website, boardleadershipnetwork.org. The website already hosts the presentation you just heard in a few days, but will require video recording the session, including full Q&A. Please feel free to reach out with any questions, and remember, we're here to help. So now what I'd like to do, we have some board members, particularly from the committee, in joining us this morning. Oh, thank you, Jim. So what we want to do now is have a Q&A. And what?
Let me turn this off.
Oh, that would be nice. One moment, please, while I have AD assistance here. I'm married well, this is my husband.
gets one.
Yeah, you get one applause, honey.
That's all I need.
That's it, you just needed one.
There you go.
There we
We'll
go.
leave that up.
We'll leave that up. So if I could have any directors who are in the room that would like to participate in the Q&A. We have Jim and Yvonne and Bunny. Any other directors that are here this morning that would like to participate? Is there another one in the back? Please come forward and we'll, there we go.
So,
Go ahead.
Can I talk?
You can now.
the last time we did this in June. We had the directors that are volunteers to put this network together. And it's a mixture of past and present. And this is all directors. Let me stop everyone right now. This is directors only? Okay. This is directors only. The audience can ask questions. And the last time we had a very good exchange. The whole purpose of the Board Leadership Network and this town hall meeting is to bring your voices collectively to run for these positions, get on the committees, and most importantly, communicate with your mutual directors, because they have the voice, they carry your voice into the GRF and VMS. So we'll leave this open. Can you take that other mic over there? So Jim will be a roving person, so you don't need to come down here if you have a question that's related to board leadership, running for committees, running for these types of things. He'll run to you and get a question. So if anyone has a question to any of the board members here, we want to keep this brief. We have a hard cutoff at 12 o'clock noon. So if you ask a question, whoever wants to answer can come up here. And just please be brief and to the point. Thank you very much.
If you would just line up with
Yes, my name is Roberta Berg, and I've been in this community for a fairly long time, and I've watched cultural changes take place and physical changes between how boards used to be run and how boards are now, and how the whole community was run. I came here for a very specific reason. And you did a wonderful presentation, but it dropped off at the end because you explained, and I understand you want board people, and that's the main purpose. But you explained how boards function, but you never explained how VMS functions. And that is a major cultural change and a reason why there's so many seats empty. Not that there ever was a full room, unless it was a major issue like tennis or something. But I would like you to please explain the functioning of VMS and why we cannot get our voices to them, because board members have more important things than what we have suggestions or complaints about.
That's a question to the board. Any board member want to answer
Here's a
that?
VMS, there's a VMS here.
Anybody that wants to answer that?
So I
We have a
am
VMS board member.
I am a VMS board member, and basically, VMS is our management company. Basically, they are there to execute, and that means that all the policies, everything that the management agreement, everything that has been written, that they are obligated to follow those policies and the governing documents. If VMS is our staff, it's very different from United Third or Mutual 50, which are HOAs. And basically, when we transferred from PCM to VMS, we became the owners. That means GRAF and United and Third all own VMS. So is there any further questions?
Yes,
Yeah.
there's
I try to.
I'm Sue Kwong. I am from United, and VMS is responsible for implementing our service level agreements. And so where you really need to show up is in the budget. And we have begged and pleaded with people to please come to the budget meetings and to respond on their needs, because they can only perform what we budget.
Do they
So
perform what you budget?
they try very hard to do that. They try very hard to do that. So that's it for me.
Thank you, thank you. Let's go on to the next. So, Jim, you have another question, Jim? Thank you.
Of course, but nobody wants to answer because they don't get
Great presentation. I'm Nancy Carlson, United Director retired, current GRA advisor. There is a little confusion about what's going on with VMS, about open and closed. Thanks.
Is this question for the board?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
At a recent GRF meeting, I think it was Director Skillman, retired, who went to the podium, and the audience was pleased because she was making an announcement that we should attend open VMS board meeting. So we need some clarification, because even I was confused about whether there was going to start being periodically an open VMS, which is what the residents were apparently seeking. So if you can address that.
If I can address it.
Okay, you address it.
I'm a former member of VMS also. And one of the things I think we need to emphasize is VMS is a business board, not part of the HOA. It doesn't manage or direct policies of any of our amenities and or housing needs. What they do is implement as a corporation. Think of it as a separate corporation, like PCN, that we hire to implement the policies and procedures that the boards, HOA boards, basically direct into. They are not part of an HOA. Think of them as, and so our board members, even though they come from the residents, if we were part of PCM as we were for 50 years, we would never have a say-so in the operation, detailed operations of that private entity. It is a separate corporation, and that we hire, per se, do or implement the policies, procedures that the boards, HOA, direct.
We can go to GRF meetings and talk.
Well, again, if you think of it as, okay. If you think of it as a private corporation, think of it as shareholders going to board meetings of IBM. They don't go to board meetings, they go to shareholder meetings. You are members, you have shares. Your shares are represented by your HOA directors. Your HOA directors are members. It's a corporate member corporation. You have to understand, it's a corporate member corporation. Your members are not the residents. Your members are your board members, your board leaders. So you do have a say, okay? But you operate through your board members. But no, you don't. I don't know what they're deciding, to be honest with you, because I'm not sure everybody has a full understanding of the separation between a corporate board. It is a corporate board. Okay? It's just like an IBM or HP or whatever. You're, as a shareholder, you're not invited to their board meetings. You get a chance. You get one chance a year to express yourself.
Okay, Jim.
But you have everyday access to them by virtue of your board. That's where you get things done. So if you can't change the process.
Hey, Jim?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Over here, 1, 2, and then 3.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I went on too long.
Okay, I'm Don Malloy, I'm a new resident in United, and I love the presentation, thank you. Just a simple question, I did not see the energy committee on the list. That list, was that all-encompassing list of all the committees?
Yes.
It's an ad hoc. Okay, very good, thanks, that was my question.
Hi, thank you for the meeting today, thanks for the energy and effort, really appreciate it. But just briefly, who are you guys standing up there? I know there's a few of you who are active, but I was just curious, and the other question, I'm sorry, there's two, is the communication between all the governance boards.
And you're right, we should introduce.
Okay.
Take the mic.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm Betty Carpenter, and I'm a board junkie. And I say that because I served on Third, I served on GRF, and now I'm on VMS. And I have been in this community since 2010. And I was also GRF president for 4 years.
I'm Yvonne Horton, and I served on the GRF board, and I was in charge of the CAC committee, which is probably the most important committee that they have here, because that's your community activities.
Hi, I'm Steve Parsons, and I'm on Third Mutual, the current secretary. And to answer one of the questions about energy, there is an ad hoc committee that's put together of members that want to serve from different HOAs, and they are looking into the needs of the community and long-range planning.
Hello, my name is Manohar Motwani. I have been on the GRF board since last year, and I hope to apply again for this year. Thank you. I hope I need your support.
Thank you. My name is Charlie Prater. I'm on the United board. I am the current treasurer. If you have questions about the treasury, please come to United board members. We'd love to see you there. You can come to the, I'm also the chair of the finance committee, which you're all very welcome to come. It's been a year, and I think this presentation was very, very done. You did a great job. Thank you.
I'm Maggie Blackwell, and I've been on boards for 10 years now. This is my third stint on United. I've been secretary a couple of times. I'm the head of governing documents usually, and I'm also on alterations and architecture. I have been on GRF for 1 year, but then I returned back to United. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sue Kwong. I'm the second vice president of United, and I'm also the landscape chair. And we welcome you to come to our meetings, and we really appreciate your involvement. I'd also like to do a shout out to City Council Member Pearl Lee, who served on our United board for a number of years, and I appreciate her continued participation in our activities.
Hello, I'm Anthony Liberatore. Everybody calls me Tony except my mother. She called me Anthony. I'm glad to be here, and this is a great event. I'd like to see more of it because in 2013, we had 4,000 people vote. That was 2/3 of our community of 6,323. This last vote was only 35%, a little over 2,000. So this is a great opportunity to get you all fired up, get there. I, by the way, am the chair of the Energy Committee for United, and we're a subcommittee that belongs to M&C. There's a lot of things going on in solar and research for energy, so I would love to see you come to our meetings. You know, we have silicone, there's some new stuff called perovskite, and some other stuff called quantum dots. And we encourage you to come and give us input. I'm also the director that heads up the Architectural Control and Standards Committee. And thank you for this time.
Okay. Yeah, we have back to question.
Thank you for
Thank you for having this meeting. It's greatly appreciated. I have three topics I'd like you to address. One of them is what the woman resident on the other side was addressing. It's, we have a bulletin that's sent out every Friday, what's up in the village. And there are things that are talked about in the Globe that not everybody gets, that needs to be put in what's up in the village. Because you ask to click and then go to your web browser and then go back and switch. It's too difficult. Be open with the facts. Be open about this meeting. There should have been a announcement sent to everybody on the email that this meeting was taking place. That's one. The other issue, there are some serious city code violations that are happening here in Laguna Woods that have been going on for years. And code enforcement has been denied to come onto the property through compliance. The issue is still happening, and it is not being addressed by the local board or by GRF. And GRF needs to have the mission statement for Laguna Woods brought up each and every correspondence, because now we don't even know what the mission statement is for Laguna Woods, and that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. Can I get your name, please? Name?
Letitia Scott Mosto, and I'm at 2231B. B is in boy.
2231B?
Yes. I've lived here almost 7 years.
Your last name?
MOSTOW.
Thank you very much. We'll make sure that it gets to the right.
Okay, coming to you.
Well, 1 second. Do we have answers here?
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay, great. We have answers.
Well, I would like to try to quickly address it. We have multiple communications, and we use the Village Breeze, we use the presidents of the various mutuals to send out information, and then we have What's Up in the Village. What they had tried to do with What's Up in the Village in the past was to put lots of information in there, and then nobody read it. So you have to pick and choose what the key issues are. And, you know, the Globe, I think, is what, $25 a year? That's something that we can do. So, thank you.
Okay, my question is, can you put flyers up? Telling us about the meetings, can you put flyers up? A lot of us go look at flyers that don't do the other stuff.
Okay, real quick on the meetings, real quick.
Well, first, I think you're talking about these meetings, or just, what, are you talking, okay, are you talking about these meetings here? Okay, well, I think she addressed all of the avenues to understand where the meetings are. Teams, online. But, okay, that's a.
If you put it in flyer, I would get it. I do come to a lot of these, I know that mistake part.
Yeah,
I've been to a lot.
Okay, real quick, just so you know, meetings, when it comes to board meetings, okay, and committee meetings, like the board meetings are, for United, is the second Tuesday of the month, okay?
It's on the calendar.
And it is on the calendar.
I'm on the bocce board, and that's what we need.
Okay, well, I can't, we can't adjust our schedule, it's been on the second
I'm
Tuesday.
asking you to do that. I'd like to see flyers, so that I could have that as a written document to be able to know when to put it on my
The last bulletin on the What's Up in the Village, the very last one is the meeting calendars. There's committee meeting calendars and there's board member calendars are on the last option. You click on that and it shows you.
My name is Dick Rader. And I understand what some of you are saying, I think. So I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, which will help us, I think, in the future. How many of you watch Channel 6, What's Up in the Day? Just a few people. Okay. How many of you get the Globe? A lot, okay. That's interesting because I think that the Globe only reaches less than half the people. How many of you look at What's Up in the Village, which is handled every Friday? Fair number of people. What I'm getting at is the following. This is my observation. I want to see if you can help us help you. My observation is there's a lot of information that you're all asking for. But if you really want to know what's going on, you have to do what I do. What I do is, I happen to live in United, and I go to almost every United committee and board meeting, including GRF also. But I'm not asking you to do that. I think what I heard, help me out, you want to have a repository where you can go and see things all at once. Is that correct? Am I getting that sense? Raise your hand if that's correct. Not everybody, okay. All right, so what I'm getting at is this. First of all, I want to answer the question. If you saw on the slides, it said, if you want to know where the meetings are being held, any meeting, board or committee meeting, there's a calendar called Team Up. If you don't know how to get onto that, and you have a smartphone or a computer, you can go to the PC Club. And I think, can they go at any time or at a specified time to get help?
So I'm Gary, I'm the president of the PC Club. You can go to take a class, but we don't put all the meetings of the village in. That's on the Laguna Woods website. That's not our job.
But you will help them in order to find how to
we'll
get
help you
onto
find it if you're struggling to find it.
Club as well. And the Mac Club on Thursday on the 18th is going to be having an overview on how to manage.
Can you come up to say this so they can hear that? So what we want to do is to get you the information. And so here's somebody from, are you going to say something, Miss?
Would you say that was in the Globe twice about this meeting?
Yes, it was. Did you want to
say that so that people know?
Just to let you know about information.
Sometimes it's difficult to manage the Laguna Woods website. So our IT director, Chuck Holland, created an easier way of doing it. This Thursday at the Mac Club on the building, the 3rd floor, Dennis, our president, will be talking about how to navigate the website, and I urge you to come because it's so much easier now. That includes resident services and a lot of things.
What time is that?
At 9 o'clock on Thursday the 18th.
The last thing I want to see a raise of hands. I've been an advocate of the following. I think that the information is fragmented. If you don't watch Channel 6, you'll miss something. If you don't watch the board meeting, you'll miss something. And it goes on like that. I've thought of 2 ways of handling it, and I want to see a raise of hands if there's any support for proceeding along these lines. We used to have a village newspaper. Seal Beach has one. The other one, what's the one? Rossmore has one. Would a village newspaper, not the Globe, the Globe is very limited in the type of information it provides. It usually tells you something that's happened after the fact, not what's coming up. So, is there any people, do you think we should have a village newspaper? So see some hands. Well, everything, right. The alternative is the following. We have a website. If there was a app that you pressed, would you want to have an app? The app would tell you what is happening this week in the individual boards. It would tell you what resolutions have passed, what ones are coming up, stuff like that. Is that something you would like?
Yes.
Ah, thank you very much.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, we have all of that. It's just training you as to where to find it. It's on our, we have calendars, that's an easy click that on the website. And if you go to the PC Club or you go to the Mac Club, they will show you how to do this. I know that's not our first love. Computers were not with us when we were young, but it's easy. We spent a significant amount of money trying to make this better. So I think we have that information. It's learning how to use it.
Excuse me.
Can we go to the next question? The next question, this lady over here, this lady here has a question. No, no, time out.
We in the third do not get a letter from the president. Yeah.
Wait.
Sally here, 3H. Apparently I mistakenly came to this meeting because I thought it was going to be an overview of what was intended, which was going to happen in our village in 2026. Too many times we hear things after the fact. A very big example that sticks in my craw was a couple years ago. Somebody intended to sell our bus service and have the county take it over. They said they were working on it for 3 years, and we only heard about it at the end of the 3 years when they wanted us to vote yes or no. I'm here to find out what you intend or what is in the books or what is scheduled for 2026 that's going to impact us. We took a very big hit last year, or at least I did. My association went up $100 a month. I'm a single person. My husband died. I'm on a strict budget. And to be blindsided by $100 was not an easy crawl.
It's not a blind side. All of this information is public in these meetings. You have to go to the board meetings. You have to pay attention. You've got to look at Granicus, Team Up, look at the village website. All of the presidents of all the mutuals, including GRF, they send out to your phone a detailed list of what's happening in their constituency, what they do in the meetings. So you just have to pay attention to it. It's all, the information's there. They're not doing it behind your back. There's a call here, please.
So I have the mic, excuse me. I'd like to know which entity is trying to change our gate security. Is it VMS?
No, it's not VMS. Hi, I get this question for the last few weeks, every time I take walks and people see me in the village or outside the village. That is a GRF project, okay? It is nothing but a study right now. So nobody's going to be changing our gates without meetings for all of you to come to with your opinions. It'll be a GRF project, so go to the GRF meetings. When they bring that up, please share your opinions. They need to listen to you. Okay?
Can I add? This is probably not it's at the board meetings that you really should be bringing up a lot of these topics. Because these are important things. They need to be brought up at board meetings, not at the special meetings.
I heard somebody say which board. GRF is in charge of those kind of projects. Go to the GRF board meetings.
Okay, I have been here 6 years. I have been owning the technology, biotech. I ran many boards. I think what you need here is somebody like Charlie. We knew Charlie when we met him somewhere. I said, he should be on the board. We don't need the same people running the board for 20 years. Every company changes the board. I ran a company, I changed my board, a small company. So we need new blood. that lock up your business.
That's why
and
we're
set-
here.
That's why we're here.
That's
That's
why
what
we're
we
here.
need.
We
But we
need
have, but, wait a minute, I'm not done. Because I have watched the same people keep going on, and somehow they get elected. Hello, let's change the system, okay? And get them and I think what this lady said is absolutely right. We need people like Charlie Newton, okay?
I think it's a great idea, and that's why we're having this meeting, because we need new blood. The problem is, new blood does not come up. It's you guys that got to do it. Well, look, but there's 18,000 people.
I thought you'd have your legs straight.
It's 12,736 homes. This is not your HOA usual. This is not your 400 unit HOA where they decide what color to paint your doors.
Okay, we have regulations for every corporation. We are multi-million-dollar corporations. We have bylaws and we have regulations and we have state regulations. We don't just fly off the handle. We just don't create things out of nothing. We have regulations and ways of following them. What you need to learn are the procedures. Okay? If you go to a meeting, you will learn the procedures. If you write a letter, you will get a response. If you send an email, someone will answer you. You have to reach out. We are reaching out as far as we can on the website and in the paper and in the Globe and everywhere else. You have to tell us what you want, so tell us at a meeting. We have always a member comment session at the beginning of every committee meeting and every board meeting. You can always come, sign a card, and speak for 2 or 3 minutes about the issue which concerns you. So do come and do that. Otherwise, we don't know what you're thinking over there in 23115, and I don't even know what 65B across from me is going to say. So come to a meeting if you have a concern, or send an email to your board. It will be answered at the board meeting. Thank you.
The next GRF board meeting is
October 7th.
October 7th,
9:30.
9:30
In the community.
in the community center. The next United board meeting is the 13th at 9:30, and that will be in the administration building board meeting. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, Jim.
Okay, first of all, thank you for the meeting today. Thank you for the time that you board members give. And one thing that wasn't really mentioned up there too much, and it's what's held me back because of the timing in my life right now, but is all the different ad hoc committees that once you're on the board, you also have to be assigned to or something, so that might be mentioned to the folks who are interested. But the reason I'm here today is because I do go to the GRF meetings, or I have been, the Disaster Task Force Committee, which is in my heart, and then also the United meetings. The one in August, I think it was on the 5th, I'm not positive right now, but something that really caught my ear, and I wanted to bring up today, was that during the Finance Committee presentation, it was brought up that our dues are so high, and they had gone up because, and they are expected to go up again, is because every paid employee is going to be getting an automatic 4% increase every year. And that was news to me. I had never heard that. And so I didn't know if other people were aware of that too. And if that's true, how do we address that so that can be renegotiated? Because I agree that the dues were, the raise this last year really hurt a lot of us.
Yeah, I think a lot of these questions can and should be brought to your boards. not, this is an informational meeting. And so I get it, but these are just, I know there's 47 board members. I think I'm looking at 7, count myself as 8. So that's not going to change anything, especially any specific issue you have.
If I could try to answer this lady very quickly. We have union contracts, and we are locked into those union contracts. And the past union contract was at 2.5%. And that's for like the people in landscape, maintenance, those sorts of people, not the administrative staff. So they had that, but they wanted additional money in for their health insurance. Then it was renegotiated to 4%, and we were locked into that for several years. Now the administrative staff is not locked into a contract, and we can't negotiate on that.
I think it's really good to explain some of these things, but these should be held at board meetings. Right. There are 60 meetings every month of boards and committees. There's so many things that could be brought up here that, quite honestly, the volunteers here are not in a position to respond to in detail in every case. So I would ask all of us to hold our meetings, to hold our just questions about serving on the board and things of that nature, because this is not the way you solve the specific things that you have, issues you have with other boards.
Is this a question and answer meeting?
It's question and answer, but the question and answers are specific about serving on the board and how it operates. If you have specific issues with whatever board that is you don't agree with, the time to do that, the place to do that is at the committee meetings as well as the board meetings. Because this group here cannot solve those. I think that's the only point we want to make. This is not for that. All right? And then we have when I finish with you, I have our city council member over here that has a question or a comment.
Thank you. I want to commend all of you for showing up and taking the time to give us all this information. I've been living here about 9 years. I'm happy to live here. Happy to know that I can live an extra 10 years. I'm already past my expiration date. I'm almost 90. My question is, I notice that all these buses driving around here are relatively empty. Let's admit it. It's a losing program. Wouldn't it be cheaper? We have a $5 taxi program, is that right? Isn't that right? Wouldn't it be cheaper?
This is a GRF committee question. It's been dealt with, and it's dealt with every single GRF Transportation Committee meeting. Every bus system is discussed. Every arrangement for taxis is discussed. The whole picture is discussed at the GRF Transportation meeting. So
okay, let's,
Can we have a lady in the front row back there? Bless her heart, her arm hurts, it's been up so long.
Let me answer a little bit about the bus system. Jim, 1 second.
I want to say.
1 second. This lady back here.
The front row has been having her arm up the whole time. Okay, I want to say something pretty quick. I'm a resident. I served as a United Director. Now I'm serving on the City Council. But I'm here as a resident. What we heard this morning over and over, to any questions you guys have, we have repeated answers come to the board meeting. The problem of going to the board meeting and making a comment can be very intimidating to a lot of our residents, because you go in front of 11 directors, you speak only 3 minutes, your speaker goes off. A lot of times you're not familiar with the procedure, and and not many people want to go through that. So United Mutual are offering town hall every second Friday, and you can come to this dining room and clubhouse free. I've been to many. The turnouts are excellent, and in those meetings you can speak at ease. You can speak about your situation in detail, and the directors are available to answer your questions. And after the meeting, you can exchange your email address and we can follow up. And I think sometimes that is a lot easier way to communicate rather than going to the board meeting at 9:30 in the morning where you have to be by yourself in a small area and address your problem. I encourage all of you to attend the town hall meeting that are held by your own board. I know that Third Mutual has started the United, the hall meeting regularly. And if you do, make sure you make a contact with one of the directors so you can personally follow up with your issues. That makes them accountable. You can make sure that you have expressed your concerns and you can follow up. And if you can't get anywhere by doing that, United also offers resident advisory meeting, which meets the second Thursday at 4 o'clock at Elms Room. You know, I usually on the committee, I go there as an advisor. Guess what? Nobody shows up. So we are there waiting for you to come and talk to us. So please show up, and that's an easy way to get involved. Thank you.
Thank you.
One of the people on the panel stated about the town hall meetings. Well, and a letter that used to come out every week. I'm in the Third Mutual. Since Mark Laws left being the president of the Third Mutual, we no longer get a weekly letter. This month, the president of the Third Mutual came. He was the only board member who attended the town hall. And he started to go over the budget, but didn't have a presentation, and people became very frustrated and annoyed because he was just spewing out numbers and he wouldn't answer their questions. So yes, the weekly letters from the president are very important. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. Is that Bonnie up there?
Yeah.
Bonnie's right there.
Bonnie? Oh,
Right
thank
there.
you. Who gave the presentation?
Dorothy.
Dorothy. Oh, what a great speaker. Thank you so much. Tony, thank you so much for those numbers on the percentage of people that vote. I think that is very significant as well. I think also, I have a couple of things. The flyers would be great. If you could put out flyers. Everybody's always looking for flyers and what to do. So that would be a consideration for all of you board members. Also, we talk about committees. Now, I know in some government entities that residents can get on the committees and not be board members. These are other government entities. And what a wonderful way that would be for us residents to be involved and not have just 37 people running everything. What if we had the residents on those 60 committees? Why isn't it set up or considered or talked about that way? Oh, please, I would definitely join right now. Because as one woman said over here, not only do we have to give our time as a board member, which I would be happy to. I have been on boards, I have been a manager, I have been in leadership. However, also being on the different boards as well, and not giving the residents an opportunity to participate. There's 18,000 of us, please consider that. And, thank you. And also, one last thing about communication. I would also say that, could you please consider putting in what's up on a weekly basis, what's coming up next week? Oh, here's the committee meetings, here, maybe if I missed it, I apologize. I will be looking for it going forward, but here's the meetings coming up on the following week. Also, is there anything that could be printed in the Globe on a weekly basis of, here's the committee meetings that are coming up, here are, I missed it. If you tell me it's there, I'll go back and look for it. I apologize, but those would be the other two sessions. Oh, Tony, he's making a tower. Thank you.
Real quick. Thank you, and you, I'm on United Board, okay? Our board meetings, I can't tell you how many people I ask to come to the meetings, okay? It is, like you said, what's up in the village? The last page, you'll see calendars. It'll give you a 2-week schedule of all the meetings, okay? So that's there. It's really good. It is. Tomorrow, no, not tomorrow, okay? Village meeting calendar, there it is right there, okay? Click on it and you'll get it, okay? We covered our financial, United covered their finance at our last Friday, open town hall, okay? We spent almost 2 hours talking about it. This Thursday, oh boy, this Thursday I'll be on Channel 6 going over the United budget. Okay, so that will be available for everybody. So we are getting out there, okay? We just need to get everybody in the village used to coming, used to listening and watching, and we're here for you.
And for those of you who have heard, the next board meeting is tomorrow morning, 9:30, at the boardroom.
Jim, we have time for 2 more questions, please. 2 more. There's one and there's 2.
Okay, I'm a recent resident in Laguna Woods, less than 6 months. I am more confused now than I was moving here. I don't know where I get any information. I never got a ballot about board members. My friend is just now telling me about what's up in the village. Never heard of that. I don't know what any of all these acronyms are. I finally found out today what VHS and G are. There's 100 acronyms, and I don't know what any of them are. I get the village please.
Go to the website.
What's the website?
LagunaWoods.com.
Laguna Woods Village.
Create a sign in. Laguna Woods Village.
And they have to ask questions. There aren't any lists about when all these different meetings are.
Everything is on there. Everything is on the website. Everything.
There's one more?
One more?
It is in the website that everything is open, so everybody can see it. But when you see it, that doesn't mean you understand. Even board members, it takes long time to understand how our structure works. It's very complicated, cumbersome. It takes a long time. So when you have a problem, or when you see something you want to change or improve, instead of to figure it out yourself, contact one of our board members or bring it forward to email or something else. Let them figure it out. You cannot figure it out. It's gonna take a long time to figure it out.
You will not get flyers from us very often. Only if your section is going to be handled in some way will we do that. It's very expensive to hand out flyers to 1,300 residents, 13,000 residents, I mean. So no, we do not deliver any flyers daily or weekly or even yearly. We don't do that. We do it on the website and we do it to your email. And that's how we do it these days, and it saves a lot of money. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your, I want, you're not done, okay.
Sorry, I'll be quick. Just a little bit of background. I was on a board once, but we had 500 members. It was very different. I have been to many board meetings over the years that I have been here, and I have had issues. It's a difficult place because they may not talk about it, and it doesn't get resolved. We don't know what to do next. So what I'm going to suggest, I have a suggestion, is that there is a specific committee that is dedicated to helping the residents reach out to the board, because you have probably almost everybody in this room right now has some of the very same issues. And there should be a committee that organizes those, puts them down on paper what they are, if there are conflicts, resolve those before they get to the board, and then takes those to the board so they can specifically work on those. I don't know of such a committee. I'd love to be on that committee, and that is my background.
Sorry. You can, anyone can individually drop off a note at the community center. You can email a director. You can call. You're asking for a committee to be formed to take all your suggestions and bring them to the board. If you want to do that, you just. Okay.
Bring it to the board. Bring it to the board, please.
I think
this group has no authority to do that.
I think what I'm hearing, just understand.
You could bring your thing up there, maybe it'll get discussed a little, but then they don't get resolved. I mean, I leave and I wait for weeks to hear something and I don't hear anything. So town hall meetings are nice places for people to come and complain, but I'm talking about a committee whose focus only is on resolution.
Okay, well, you can form the committee. Form the committee, and they'll.
Every committee makes resolutions. Every committee makes resolutions. The committee discussions get a vote by the committee members. When they vote, then it becomes a resolution which goes to the board.
Okay. We can't have a dialogue here. This is the meeting. Okay. Look, what I'm hearing is communication. It's a two-way street. There's many communication avenues that are available to all of us. And what happens, and I'm guilty of it too, is if I don't receive something, or I say I want to point a finger someplace, and I go, oh, wait a minute, it's available. And so with everything that's available, we still only have anywhere between 25 and 35% of our residents that vote on issues. The other part of this, for me, is we all have complaints of some sort, and they affect us individually. But not every complaint is something that is universally a problem. So there are ways to address those kinds of things, in my opinion, because I've had them too. I've lived here 13 years, by the way.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming anyway. I have one more comment. I can jump in here. My dear new resident is sitting over there. We conduct a class through VMS every month called Living in the Village for new residents, where we teach you all of this. And it's the second Tuesday of every month. So please come join us, reservation only. And even if some of you have new neighbors that would benefit from this class, it's in the globe, underneath, and it's called Living in the Village. and you would greatly benefit from your help, especially since you're going in here 6 months. So it's Living in the Village, and we do it the second Tuesday of every month through VMS.
And one last thing, at the PC Club, I'm teaching a class monthly on the history of Laguna Woods and how that impacts our governance process and how you can participate in that. It's kind of an amplification of some of the things you saw here. So the next one is on September 25th at 10 a.m. at the PC Club. And that's a chance to kind of be more interactive. Okay, it's a more intimate session, and we can talk about it. But there are some really critical things that impact what we are and what we're about here in Laguna Woods. Laguna Woods is different than any other senior community, period.
For those of you that have hung in there to the very end, bless you all. And we thank you for coming. And please remember to get your ballots turned in, and have a great day, and love your life in the village. Bye.
Thanks. Very good.
It's back on the hook. He's looking for the mic.
Yeah, I gotta sign up for the class.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, do you have a thing for that?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go out. You know what, I'll go on.
Go on the PC.
Yeah, I've been meaning that.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. No, it's a good session. You want to come in and talk about, is it a building? I don't know. I'm talking about certainly, yeah. This is things that give work to be kind of supporting the foundation, take it out.
No, that's just the history there.
Yeah.
I read quite a bit about it.
Oh, great review.
No. It is, I mean, that's one reason we okay. And it's funny, before we moved here, I used to go on YouTube, I used to watch the board meeting, and I wanted to see what kind of politics in this. Then I watched the YouTube,
Okay, so when you join the board?
Oh, what's that?
When are you joining the board?
Oh, wait, give me a couple more years.
Oh, okay.
Listen, you got a lot of talented retirees here.
I think we only get 2 sessions, right?
No, then they wanted to people from one order.
Oh, I see. So you're arguing for term.
Right. Oh, yeah.
18,000. If you want term.